Beginning a new journey can be stressful. That's why it's important to prepare the best you can. You never know what types of obstacles you may face as you venture out along these new paths. No matter what the journey, it's important to be proactive. Because if you can't take care of yourself, you cannot take care of your loved one. Order your copy today at www.jessicalazellcannon.com.
Hello, and welcome to the Proactive Caregiving Podcast. As a CPA with over 20 years as an industry accountant, Jessica stepped away from the corporate world to become a full-time caregiver for her mother. Having learned invaluable lessons along the way, she is now here to share those with you and to invite you to join her on this caregiver's journey. Here is your host, Jessica Cannon.
Hello, everybody. I am so glad you're here with me today. I am the Proactive Caregiver, and I specialize in educating others on how to be proactive by empowering you, the caregiver. Because if you cannot take care of yourself, then you cannot take care of your loved one. And this is why I wanted to talk to you today about caregiver overwhelm and knowing when to take a breather. This is something I am experiencing now, and I recognize it's time to take a breather. Because when the walls felt like they were closing in and taking a deep cleansing breath was followed by tears, I listened to my body this time. It's not just time for self-care, it's time for a self-retreat. Being in tune with my body now has helped me notice when something is off right away instead of dismissing it like I used to, dismissing the signs. But as I mentioned in a recent episode, the caregiver hormones, I'm having some challenging changes that need some attention because they're contributing to this feeling of overwhelm. My caregiver journey has had many ups and downs, but sometimes those straight and narrow pathways are filled with challenges just the same. And these challenges require self-care. And although I maintain regular self-care regimens, this time I need a little bit more help. These challenges have led me to a familiar heart space, one that I've had to learn how to embrace the unknown, just so that I can find peace. Find peace in that letting go. Once again. So Dad's goodbye years ago was not the long goodbye that it has become with Mom. So embracing this unknown has become overwhelming. Rather than find peace like I've done before in researching, I'm trying to find the peace and just being still. I may be many things, but the caregiver in me is a mama bear. And this bear knows when it's time to retreat to a cave for a hibernation of replenishment and refocusing. I happen to do best when I can channel my broken energy into a project. Those projects have helped me over the years to free my mind. Finding that creative space has pulled me out of some of the dark spaces. But when the roles switched between me and Mom became my cub, Mom is the cub for me to protect, and being present with her now is a blessing. It's a gift I choose to honor. So these internal struggles, they have reminded me to practice what I preach, to find time to reflect, meditate, pray, study, and be still. So I wanted to share a few things with you. Before I step back to replenish and refocus, there's a few things that I wanted to bring to your attention. I wanted before to change the idea of what hospice is, because it is far more than end of life. And these last couple of months, towards the end of 2021 and starting into 2022, Mom was having problems with kidney failure. But thanks to hospice, her kidneys have bounced back a little bit. But life happens, and this pendulum swing is present now, where her kidneys have increased and become better. The congestive heart failure is worsening. So time with her is important now. And it's not helping that of all times in my life, my body is deciding to make time for these changes with the hormones that are contributing to the overwhelm. And so that I am in that good space, because we mentioned in that other episode as well, achieving that restorative rest is vital now. So there are some things I have to tend to so that I can maintain the level of care and focus that she's going to demand going forward. Because grieving is never easy, and it takes a lot of energy. There are all sorts of ways that I've learned on how to manage, attend therapy, speak with friends, embrace loved ones. But when it comes down to it, grieving is grieving. And I recognize what it is that I'm in it now. Because the first step was saying, I am depressed. The next step is proactively approaching what not only my body needs, but what my mind and my heart needs at this point. This last year, I have been very busy working on projects and trying to balance the time with Mom, and it's been great. There were some projects that actually were completed, but I have been so busy and trying to be that on-the-go caregiver that I didn't put the time into mentioning and explaining and sharing with you like I could have before. Towards the end of 2021, we completed some really cool projects. The first one being the Proactive Journey, Volume 1, which I was really excited to do. The second one was the Proactive Caregiver, Stop Reacting to Life and Start Living Proactively. That came in December of 2021. And then this year, well, this is the proof, but the Proactive Journey Volume 2 came in March of 2022. The Proactive Journey Volume 3 is in progress, but it's not scheduled to be released until January of 2023. So you can imagine these projects for this past time. We also had the ebook released, Becoming Proactive, as a free gift to you, our subscribers, when they went to jessicalazellcanna.com and actually subscribed. All projects that I have been so excited about being able to complete, because it has been a couple of years in the making to get here, to share it with you. But life has been so crazy that I haven't shared it entirely with you. And one of the things that I'm excited to begin working on very soon is creating a safe space for caregivers in our refuel meetings. This monthly meeting will be for caregivers to refuel in the sense that they will be able to replenish, encourage, find fellowship, understanding, education, and light in these sometimes dark areas of our journey. The subscribers will be the first to know at this point. We haven't provided an actual launch date yet, but the subscribers will be the first to know because it will be free, but the space is limited, and I wanted to give the subscribers the first opportunity to register for them. So there are other projects that I am channeling this energy towards, realizing what I'm being channeled to go towards. I cannot give you specific details just yet, but I'm excited to let you know there are a couple of projects that are coming for later this year. But for now, I'll be taking my summer break a little bit earlier so I can allocate this present moment as much as possible between spending time with mom and making those lasting memories, and then channeling my energy towards completing these other projects. And regardless if it's a power surge or not, I have to refocus and replenish so I can continue moving forward in a positive direction. So I hope in the meantime you are able to take the time to re-listen to some of the other episodes, or actually reach out and send me any information that you might be struggling with, questions or problems on your own as it is. But until then, this is something that I know and has come to my mind more often than not. One of my meditative verses, Proverbs 3, lines 5 and 6. To trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek His will in all you do, and He will show you which path to take. I am going to be meditating on this verse as I sit next to mom and as I work on my projects, thinking of what's to come next. But until then, I'm going to take that break. And so I hope you as caregivers understand and do the same as you need to, because caregiver overwhelm is that one step ahead of deep depression. Thank you for joining in and listening today. I hope, as always, this has given you a little bit of food for thought. And until next time, be proactive. Take care, everybody.
Thank you for joining us today. We really hope you've enjoyed this episode. To learn more about proactive caregiving and to hear other episodes of this podcast, please visit www.jessicalazelcannon.com. This podcast is produced by Cannon Light Media, LLC, www.cannonlightmedia.com. Music provided by Khris Paradise.